creating something that somebody else is enjoying and knowing that they're enjoying it is like the best.
Today we'll be hanging out with Sur Ronster, one of the most influential names for all things EV. We'll do a little house tour and go in depth about e-bike content creation. Want to know how Sur Ronster grew his following within e-bike culture? Stick around to find out. Alright, special video today. This is something I've been working on for a while. We're visiting Sur Ronster and getting the tour of his house, so let's check it out. We got the infamous Honda Odyssey frame right here, just sitting out in the open. Alright, let's see if he's home. Oh, there he is.
Rick, welcome, dude. Come on in.
Got some new toys in the garage, I see.
We do.
What do you got? What are you excited about?
Oh, well, I mean, we got the Varg. The Varg just came in. It still has the stickers on the wheels. I haven't ridden it yet. I saved the first impression for the video.
I think we're really excited to hear your take on this thing.
It doesn't really get any better than the Varg right now, so I couldn't be more excited about it. That's also been a while in the works.
What is this thing?
So get this, it's 80 miles an hour, right? It's 84 volts. Believe it or not, the same company makes a scooter that's double the size of this. Like, if you think this is crazy, they make one that's double the voltage, double the everything, double the power. So maybe that's next. But
this is like a prop out of the Halo TV show. Like,
that's a good way to describe it, yeah.
Good old Surron over here.
Yeah, we got a little Surron action. This is the 2024 Surron I've been building out. Got some finishing touches to do. Got the Erat Pro SS next to it.
Just from the outside looking in, it looks identical.
Yeah, no, 10 feet away, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. You gotta have at least 2 bikes ready to go at all times. We got the car here. This was a giveaway. The winner had a choice between the cash and the cart. And in the video, he was excited. He chose the cart, but then later he ended up choosing the cash. So I still have the cart. I'm gonna make some more content with it. And then don't look over there. Don't look over there. My baby.
Wow. This is how you treat the OG. Do you know that this was responsible for like 90% of like the Surron sales?
So it's not usually like this. It's usually on a bed. I've parted all the parts out because I have big plans for this bike. I got some good stuff coming for it, so it will have its dignity back soon enough. But it still has its place in the garage. At least it's not in the box room.
I'm really excited to kind of get the tour of some of the stuff that you have, some of the goodies, and just to get to know your process. So, shall we?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
How'd you get started in this whole EV thing? Like, were you always a stunt rider? Were you always a modder? Like, take us back.
Well, I was a college student in my second year, and so I took my roommate's e-skate to class a couple times and got totally hooked on it. I got a Meepo board for $300 when they were first coming out, and it was awesome, but I kept falling off it, hitting cracks and stuff. So then I upgraded to this little Walmart e-scooter, and I loved that. And that's when I started wanting to wheelie it, even though it was just a little scooter. I had never been a modder or a stunter, but I had this little Walmart scooter, and it was just my whole life. I loved it. I went grocery shopping on it. It was only a matter of a couple months before I gave in to getting a Surron, and that's when it really took off with the stunt riding and everything. But back then, the Surron, there was nobody riding it. It was really a gamble, and best gamble I ever took.
What was your first impressions once you got on the Surron? That was something that you just sort of unlocked something in what you were interested in?
Yeah, well, I remember the first time I saw the Surron in person. I walked into the Lunicycle showroom, and it was way bigger than I was expecting, and I was super intimidated. I've never never ridden a motorcycle before that, and it looked like a full-on motorcycle to me. You could have put it next to a Ducati, and I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference at the time. So that's really when the addiction happened, was when I first saw it in person. I just was like, that is so badass.
We kind of touched on this earlier, but let's talk about content creation, like from concept to publishing the video. What does that process look like for you?
So it's always pretty rushed, which is unfortunate. I think when it comes to creative things, it's nice to take your time. But I post every Saturday morning, so I usually have about a week to make a video, unless I'm ahead, which is rare. So the time between, you know, the idea to uploading it is never really more than a week.
You know, I'm sure some of it is thought out, and then some of it is like, I'm going to shoot something and something's going to happen. I don't know what it is, but I can turn it into something.
There's sort of three types of videos in my mind. There's the ride outs and lifestyle, going out with your buddies and riding videos, which I love. Those are my favorite to film. Then there's the, you know, review videos. A new bike comes out, unbox it, assemble it, test ride it. I also love those. And then the third type is the upgrade and the DIY and the custom stuff. Each one sort of has its own flow to it, its own time frame. Those lifestyle ride out videos are the easiest. You just go out for a ride, but I try to mix it up, do one of each.
Do you know when like you're overshooting something or something's not working? Like how do you keep that? Is it just like subconsciously you've done this so many times and you know what'll work and how you could turn footage into any one of those stories? It seems effortless, but I'm sure there's a process that you have.
I think the process that I've developed that's the most valuable is planning ahead of time. One of my favorite quotes, it was a US president, I forget who it was, is that if you had 5 days to cut down a tree, you should spend 4 days sharpening your axe. Why waste your time going at it with a blunt axe? And I've noticed that with the videos. If you go in, even if it's a review, which is pretty straightforward, you unbox it, you test it out. If you don't plan, where's the camera gonna be? Where am I gonna be? How am I doing the audio? Where am I riding it? Am I allowed to ride there, right? I used to just wing it and set up the camera and that was fine, it was fun, but as I've continued this journey, preparation and sharpening my axe is just the name of the game.
To me, you know, when I look at, I guess, the e-bike influencer space, there's sort of like a trifecta of certain skill sets that some people have more or less of, but it's sort of like the riding ability, the personality, right? Just having an interesting persona on camera, and then the content creation aspect of it, organizing, storytelling. You've really developed and honed your skills in all those three areas, which is like not easy. And I feel like some people who get into this think that it's easy, or they focus so much in one area, but not so much in the other areas. You could be an amazing stunt rider, but if you don't know how to film or edit your videos or tell a story, then you're just relying on other people to tell your story, which doesn't always work. So is that something that you think about like consciously?
I think about that almost every day because I'll go on Instagram and I'll see somebody wheeling same bike as me, and they're doing something I didn't even know was possible and I wouldn't even consider trying, right? And I'm like, wow, they're just a way better rider than me, right? It's not a competition, but they're a way better rider than me. Or I'll see somebody on YouTube, like yourself, making a video that's so well put together, and I'm like, I don't even know how I would begin to do something like that. And I get imposter syndrome, and I'm like, I shouldn't be making videos, I shouldn't be the one with these opportunities. So I try to encourage myself by thinking, okay, I might not be the best at any of these things, but I'm good enough at all of them together that I can get by with it. And that's kind of inspiring. You don't need to be the fastest man in the world to take part in a race. As long as you're crossing the finish line, I mean, that's a terrible example, but
there's always going to be someone better at you at something. And I think the more you look outside of that, or the more inward you look at like, what can I do to improve? Then none of that should really matter, because it doesn't hinder you, because that could easily block your creative thoughts, you know?
Totally. It can be super demoralizing. I listened to this great Mr. Beast podcast. His videos are engaging. Like, there's a lot to learn from his style. And he was talking about how as long as you improve each video from your last one in one way or another, you're doing it. And if I can improve my wheelie just a little bit from the last time, or if I can improve the lighting just a little bit from last time, then that's all I can do. That's the best I can do. And I think that's great advice.
Maybe you didn't grow up on a dirt bike or like, you know, stunt riding motorcycles like a lot of other people do. But I think that enthusiasm or that, you know, just like wanting to learn, that optimism is something that translates to your viewers because they can feel like you're the portal to the things that they may be interested in or that they aspire to. I've always, you know, felt like watching your videos that I get that experience, and I think some of it has this anonymous, you know, identity where we don't really see your face, but then we can kind of like feel like we're experiencing what you're experiencing without having to judge you, you know, as you, yes. But you're this vessel for us. Is that something that you think about? I mean, is that why you wear the helmet?
There's a lot of facets to the helmet situation, and that's a huge part of it. I feel like when I'm watching a video, maybe of a bike that I'd love to have one day, I want to imagine myself being that person in the video, me riding the bike. A lot of my footage is POV. You're seeing it from my point of view. So by having the helmet, it could just as easily be you under the helmet, just as easily be you riding the bike, unboxing it. And I love that.
When you create, you know, a certain amount of followers and stuff, you get brands reaching out to you. And how do you even manage like who to collaborate with? Is this an interesting idea? I mean, for me, there are certain brands that are, you know, for the traditional e-bike space, a lot of just like whatever cookie cutter, right. No-name companies. But, you know, I talk to Sully, you know, will sometimes like think about, is there something interesting here? Even though like on the surface, it isn't, like, can we make it something? Mm-hmm. Can we make something interesting of something that someone would just like overlook? Is that on a different level, obviously, when you're dealing with high performance EVs? How do you decide who to collaborate with?
It really comes down to how fun is the video going to be. The first thing is, what's the title of the video going to be? And basically, what's the thumbnail going to be? Why would somebody watch the video? And if a brand's reaching out with a cookie cutter bike, reviewing a cookie cutter bike, like that's not a title, right? So if it's a good bike, but it's not a fun video, it comes to upgrading. I would try to upgrade it, work something out with the company, and they're always happy to do that. They'll give a little budget to upgrade it. I'm at a point where I'm fully prioritizing the quality of the videos over any financial incentives, and I've turned down many opportunities that I could cash out on, but it'd be a terrible video, or I'd be promoting something that I wouldn't buy myself. I mean, that's actually really the baseline, is like, would I want to ride this bike? Would I have fun with it?
No, that makes a lot of sense. And you know, you're on a level obviously where you can, you know what I mean, where it then infringes in your integrity if you say yes to. And it kind of blows my mind sometimes when I see comments where like, Sur Ronster's just a shill or just a pitchman, and it's just like, no, I mean,
I can show them what that looks like. Yeah. I could be if I wanted to.
There's channels that are like straight up shills, you know, but it's good to know. It's something that I can see from the outside looking in.
To mix it up, different colors every day. White some days, dirty white some other days. I'm actually rocking the Skechers now. I got an S on them for, we'll say it's for Sur Ronster.
Okay, so do you feel like the white shoes kind of stand out?
Yeah, no, the white shoes stand out on the bikes. I think white's the way to go on the bike for sure, at least for like videos.
All right. What is this room?
It's the bike room, baby.
Obviously, but this is reserved for what? Bikes that you just can't bear to part with?
You know, they accumulate, and I'm so blessed to have this many bikes. My inner child is just happy every time I see this. But yeah, I mean, they're all functioning for the most part. They all have their own different uses and personalities. There's a lot of stories in here. Yeah, this is the bike room, baby. They get their own room. They don't pay rent. They're living the life. I'm jealous.
You got every kind of bike, every genre of bike. Today, if you ask most kids what they want to do, they want to say, I want to be a YouTuber. And I think what they really mean is they want to be famous, right? So when they say, I want to be a YouTuber, I don't think they really understand what all of that means and what goes into it. I kind of like cringe inside when someone says YouTuber to me.
Really?
I know that it's not, it shouldn't be seen like that, but I think what's interesting about your story is that you, like you said, you went to college, you've sort of attained a higher level of education, and I think, does all that cross over into like deciding to do something like this full time? You know what I mean? Because I feel like you must have weighed, is this worth my combined efforts? Like,
totally, yeah. No, it was a big decision I had to make. I had hit the 100,000 subscriber mark with still over a year left in college, and it was a decision to make. Is it worth finishing? And I made the decision to finish school, and I'm glad I did. But no, I used absolutely none of it. I got a degree in math, which is awesome. I love math. I could talk to you about it all day, but you don't really use a lot of it to do wheelies and make videos. But when kids say they want to be a YouTuber, sure, some of it might be like the fame associated, but I think the reason kids want to be YouTubers is because they're seeing someone that's just doing what they want to do. They're seeing someone whose job is to have fun, right? Now, when I was a kid, I was a little more realistic. I wanted to be an astronaut. I kept it real. But if YouTuber was an option, I would have absolutely wanted to, just because you watch the video and yeah, the YouTuber's having a bunch of fun. Now, that being said, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that maybe isn't as fun. There's a lot of emails and I can't complain at all, but you're not just, riding through the city and, stopping the video and uploading it. There's a lot of editing and you gotta work with people, and that can be challenging. I never liked group projects, but so I try to keep my whole operation really like a one-man show. And I love the theme song, On My Own, because it's really true to me. I do everything on my own. I try to keep it that way.
You're right. A lot of people don't know what goes into it. I mean, it's still a job. Sure. And a job means you have deadlines to hit. You have people and relationships to manage, and like any job, if you don't tend to it, you get fired, right?
You got it, exactly. It's a little scary sometimes. Like, yeah, if you miss a week, like what would happen if I didn't upload this Saturday, but.
From what I can tell, you have a very balanced outlook on it. I think there are some people who do YouTube full time, who that's their entire identity, right? That's all they are.
I try to separate myself for sure. That's another benefit of the helmet is like, when the helmet's off, I'm not Sur Ronster. I'm the same guy, but if there's like negative feedback or I feel like I failed in some way, which happens all the time, I take the helmet off and it's like, okay, that was Sur Ronster, that wasn't me. So that's kind of nice.
I can tell that your relationship with your viewers is something that means a lot to you. And how do you maintain being fully transparent, and taking that on responsibility to your viewers?
A lot of the videos are not transparent, right? I'm not showing my face. I don't show my license plate. I don't say my name. I need to know, where do I draw the line, right, between being private and transparent. So the transparency is really key when it comes to recommending stuff. These bikes are super expensive. I would never want to put myself in a position where I'm recommending something I wouldn't get myself. And so that's where transparency is just absolutely key. I've never considered promoting something that I wouldn't want to promote. Sometimes I do wonder, like, is it wrong to be hiding my face? Is it wrong to be not 100% transparent, even though it could make me uncomfortable? Something I think about a lot.
Let's talk about charged PEV. What's that all about? I watched the promo. I'm on the website. All I know is it's a kind of detailing company. But yeah, take us through what it's about.
I wanted to make something. I wanted to make something physical outside of the videos. And the first idea is obviously t-shirts. Didn't want to do t-shirts. I wanted to make something that's useful that hasn't been made yet. And I love cleaning my bikes, so that's how I ended up with the detailing. And the idea was to launch the detailing with like a giveaway, and it was successful. It was really exciting. A lot of people were happy with the product. They were excited about the giveaway. And then the giveaway ended, and And then, you know, nobody was interested in the detailing products, even though I was still just excited. So then we did another giveaway to keep it going. And now it's sort of turned into a combined effort between like the detailing products with the giveaways, which is really amazing for me. I love giving away stuff, but I think I might stop doing the giveaways. I feel bad if you just think about the math, right? Coming from a math guy. Let's say 100 people participate in the giveaway. Those are 100 people that enjoy the videos, enjoy being part of the community. Now 99 of them are gonna walk away from that giveaway feeling like they just lost out. Only one person walks away happy from that. So it doesn't feel right, basically, just numbers wise, although it is a real person winning a bike. So I'm gonna try to keep promoting the Charge PV detailing stuff, but maybe moving a little bit away from the giveaway stuff.
I think it's cool to create a product that's adjacent to the hardware of like EV stuff. 'Cause I feel like anyone who gets into the scene is like suddenly a vendor. Like, you know, like, I'm gonna sell this, and nothing wrong with that. I think it drives the entrepreneurial spirit of a lot of people. Sure. I think it's really interesting that with the influence that you have, you're putting it into stuff that is sort of like a universal product, right? It's not like it's kind of like a one size fits all that's accessible to the widest range of people who are enthusiastic about these things.
Yeah, that was the goal, was to, I mean, same with the channel itself. I don't want to just be like that surron guy. I want to do I love all electric, anything high powered and electric. And the detailing stuff matches that mission. It's for all electric things, and it works amazing. Sometimes I think to myself, oh, there's so much extra work to deal with the taxes and the customer service, and I think to myself, I want to, you know, discontinue it. But then I literally ask myself, okay, well, what am I going to clean my bike with? And I mean, there's alternatives, but I like using my stuff, and it works the best that I've found from anything else. So I'm going to keep chugging along, if anything, just to keep my own bikes clean. But if anyone else wants their bike clean as mine, then they can join.
What was the biggest challenge that you've had since doing this whole thing?
Yeah, fortunately, no legal issues have been incurred yet, although I'm braced for it. Definitely the biggest issue has been finding a good living situation. I need a certain amount of space, a certain type of location, kind of close to LA. I found a good spot. I'm pretty far out of the city at this point, but that's definitely been, because it's hard to be creative, it's hard to have fun if you're not like in a good living situation. So I'm really happy where I am now, but my biggest challenge for sure has just been finding a way to make this work. It's such a weird lifestyle. I think the biggest challenge that I'm still fighting is the fear of failure, and putting all of me into a video and being disappointed in how it turns out, or how it performs, or how people comment on it. That anxiety going into a video is probably the biggest challenge of what I'm doing, but I'm starting to give less of a basically. I'm making these videos just like I have from the beginning, for myself, as selfish as that sounds. Like, I'm making the videos because I enjoy making them, and if people want to watch them, that makes me super happy, and I love that. But I try to fight that anxiety of failure just with like, that's not why I'm making the video. It's not for the way people comment. It's how I feel about it. So that's definitely the challenge, because there's not many like jobs where you're publishing your work to the world. A lot of the times it's not secretive, but it's within your organization.
It's filtered through layers.
For sure.
Channel.
Very rarely are you publishing every week something to the public, and there's weeks where I do it wrong, and where people are upset with how I did it, or I'm upset with how I did it. But it's a learning experience, just like that Mr. Beast thing about making each video a little better than the last. Having
that healthy relationship with the audience, I think, is important. I think when everyone starts out, it's like, I want all the attention. And then when you get a certain amount of attention, depending on your personality, you can deal with it and you could thrive in it. Me personally, I get social anxiety about like having to answer every question, or like you know, how much I need to be in the rat race of the scene where I have to constantly post stuff that just to, you know, have an arbitrary, like, I need to stay relevant. I know what this room is because you have a sign that says box room. I am familiar with receiving boxes and having to figure out what to do with them.
And I mean, it's just a storage room. I got some bikes in boxes here, and I got some wheels for every bike, every occasion, batteries. It's just, I mean, you got to have somewhere to keep everything. These bikes, when you get a bike, you don't just get a bike, you get 3 sets of wheels, and over time you accumulate them.
I mean, it's organized as much as you could get it organized.
I would say, oh, I'm sorry for the mess, but this is about as organized as it ever is.
The wheels are where the wheels are. Controllers are where the motors are where the motors are. But yeah, I mean, this is the type of room where I feel like I need to be working. I need to be like sorting things for you, or like taping things up, shipping things back.
I need you here, dude. That'd be so helpful.
Time.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you could probably, just with the parts alone in here, you could build a couple bikes, I'm confident. But yeah, there's some exciting things in these boxes that I'm not going to disclose, but big stuff coming.
This is pretty cool because this is part of the process of like reviewing things where like you got to deal with boxes and like recycling lots of cardboard and like the space to deal with it. It's work.
It's blessed work, but yes, it is work.
It is work.
Yes, it is.
So one of your recent videos is about the Cybertruck, and you did talk about, I guess, you know, expanding the channel into all EV things that you're interested in. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I want to do all things electric, and that includes cars and trucks. I still think they have a while to go before they're practical, but I find them fascinating. The technology, the features are all unique, and just the way they drive is fun. I enjoy it. It's the same appeal as the electric bikes. It's snappy, smooth. So I'm all about it, but yeah, I'm trying to do it all. I don't want to pigeon myself into just surrons. As much as I love the surron, I enjoy taking my Razor out. I enjoy taking a go-kart out, and I want to share that general passion.
Are these opportunities you're like seeking them out, or do you find that they're coming to you as your audience starts to grow?
Fortunately, a lot of opportunities find their way to me. I rarely reach out. I have my email on like my YouTube, and companies will reach out. So
you find a lot of new content creators coming up in this somewhat saturated e-bike space. It just seems like that. Maybe it isn't, but it's a small community. Like everyone's doing something interesting. What would you tell, I guess, a new content creator, you know, who wants to do this at the level that you're doing it at? What advice would you give someone who wants to do something like that?
The beautiful thing about it is that there's zero barrier to entry. It's free to make a YouTube account. It's not necessarily free to get a bike, but the barrier to entry to doing something like this is much lower than an average job where you need a degree or a recommendation or referral. That being said, I would never, not to sound harsh, but I think it's a red flag when the goal is to be a content creator. The goal is to get sponsored. The goal is to get free bikes. That was never my goal, and I know that if that was my goal from the beginning, I would have burned out and given up a long time ago. The passion to do something like this has to be from within. If it's anything external like subscribers or sponsorships, those are great. Like I enjoy both of those, but those only satisfy you until they don't. And in order to continue growing, in my experience, is to just keep pushing, and that drive to push has to be internal. And there's been many times where a while ago, the subscriber count just doesn't motivate me to do anything. The sponsorships don't motivate me. I already have all the bikes I could want. Getting another one's not going to do it. It's because I love making videos. I've always made videos ever since I was a kid. On my trampoline, I had my sister on her old MacBook with her webcam holding it, on a photo booth and filming me doing front flips on the trampoline. And then in high school, I used to skate, and I loved making skate videos. And just the act of making the videos and showing it to my friends was like the best. And so that's why when I got into the surrons, it was natural for me to start making videos. I wasn't doing it for subscribers. I wasn't doing it for sponsorships. Those did come, and that's awesome, and I really enjoy it. But I would have burned out so long ago if my goal was to get subscribers. Because at what point is it enough? Maybe I'll hit 1 million soon. If my goal is subscribers, once I hit 1 million, now what, right? I probably won't even celebrate 1 million. I haven't celebrated 100K, 500K, because it's not why I do it. It doesn't seem, I mean, it is worthy of celebration. I'm incredibly grateful. But if I'm celebrating those things, I'm focusing on the wrong thing. I celebrate when I make a video that I enjoy. That's when I'll take my girlfriend out and we'll get dinner, and that's what it is to me. And so to answer your question about people wanting to come into this, to be a content creator, it's gotta be, that's an external thing. It has to be from within, and that's what gives you the consistency to keep pushing as you grow.
This consistency of creating a video and trying to make it better and trying not to burn yourself out is really the key. And all the other stuff, subscribers, free bikes, it's the ancillary things. It's the bonus. But the reward has to be this thing that you created out of scratch. Absolutely. That keeps people engaged, you know, for a couple minutes.
That is so, like, that's what makes it worth it, is like creating something that somebody else is enjoying, and knowing that they're enjoying it is like the best. That's worth 1 million bikes. That's worth 1 million subscribers, for sure.
I don't want to waste my viewers' time. You know, like if they're coming to my channel, you know, I'll do an intro, but it cuts away from me right away. Like in the first 5 seconds, it's like, it's about this thing. Let's shift the focus away from me. It's about this thing. Yeah. And like, I've over the years discovered cutting away those filler things that I used to put in. For me, it's more like, here's the overview of the thing.
Yes.
And, you know, and I'll give it to you in like 7 minutes, because that's all you have. And then when you have time for the deep dive, you could go to the other channels. And I like understanding where I fit.
You're really good at that. You're really good at cutting the fat and giving people what they came for. And I think it shows when you edit your own videos. You end up watching your own video 100 times before it's published. And by that 100th time, you know what's unnecessary because you're sick of seeing it. So I feel like that's one of the beautiful things about editing your own videos, is that you have to watch it so many times that you know how to keep it engaging, and you know how to cut the fat, and you're really good at that.
You are my sun. You are my sunshine. You are my sun.
So that's our day in the life with Sur Ronster, and how he's quickly grown and adapted in a rapidly changing industry. If you found our chat helpful for your own content creation process, leave a comment below. As always, if you want to dive into more EV tech tips, click the links on the side, and remember to like and subscribe so we can help you find tech deals that fit your lifestyle. We'll see you guys in the next video.